Breaking news. Welcome to today's headlines. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer reveals how Abia court verdict will aid IPOB's leader's release. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer reveals how Abia court verdict will aid IPOB's leader's release. To my dear listeners, from wherever you're listening from, stay tuned as I read today's news. One of the lawyers of indigenous people of Biafra, Aloy Ejimako, has said a recent judgment by the Abia State High Court would aid the release of the IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu. He said this in a statement on Sunday titled, "The Abia High Court judgment has paved the way for Nnamdi Kanu's bail to be reinstated." According to him, the judgment proved that Nnamdi Kanu didn't jump bail voluntarily. AnaEdoOnline.ng had reported on January 19 that a high court in Abia State ordered the federal government to pay the sum of 1 billion naira to the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, and issue a letter of apology to him. Kanu had approached the court demanding 5 billion naira over the invasion of his father's house by the military on September 10, 2017. Making clarification on the verdict, the lawyer said, "This press release is necessitated by the flurry of public commentaries in the 19th January 2022 judgment of the High Court of Abia State in favor of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Most of the commentaries have bordered on examining the latent impact the judgment may have beyond the monetary award and the apology. Of particular note is whether the judgment should directly or indirectly impact the persisting notion that Kanu had jumped bail in 2017, which was what granted the bench warrant that was used to justify his rendition." In summary, the answer is in the affirmative that this landmark judgment has created new legal opportunities for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, especially as regards impeaching the bench warrant that grandfathered his extraordinary rendition. You will recall that from late 2017, I had maintained a well-publicized stance that Nnamdi Kanu never jumped bail and that he will, in due course of time, prove that it was the Nigerian government that compelled him to flee and seek refuge outside Nigeria. This was the material issue before the court and it prevailed. In particular, the court held that it is the view of this court that the army set out as pythons to terminate the life of Nnamdi Kanu. The military invasion of his home at Afara Uku Ibeku is so notorious that this court cannot turn a blind eye to it. It deserves an apology and compensations. Additionally, the court held that Kanu has by credible evidence proved to the Honorable Court, that is, fundamental rights to dignity of human person and personal liberty were wantonly or blatantly violated, and its fundamental rights to life threatened brazenly by Federal Republic of Nigeria. In other words, the court impliedly held that Kanu never made a voluntary decision to flee Nigeria or to be absent from his trial. To this extent, this judgment has finally obliterated the vested and false notion that Kanu had jumped bail back in 2017. Accordingly, the bench warrant upon which his rendition from Kenya was grounded has now become impeachable and liable to be vacated, thus paving the way for his previous bail to be reinstated. One of the lawyers of the indigenous people of Biafra, Aloy Ejimako, has said a recent judgment by the Abia State High Court would aid the release of the IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu. He said this in a statement on Sunday titled, "The Abia High Court judgment has paved way for Nnamdi Kanu's bail to be reinstated." According to him, the judgment proved that Nnamdi Kanu didn't jump bail voluntarily. And Online.ng had reported on January 19 that a high court in Abia State ordered the federal government to pay the sum of 1 billion naira to the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, and issue a letter of apology to him. Kanu had approached the court demanding 5 billion naira over the invasion of his father's house by the military on September 10, 2017. Making clarification on the verdict, the lawyer said the press release is necessitated by the flurry of public segment of the commentaries on the 19th January 2022 judgment of the High Court of Abia State in favor of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. To my dear listeners, now we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by at the comment section and let us know what your view is all about.